is the sublime buffet time.
Hello. Hey guys. So this is Half-Life Alyx. So I'm going to get this started real quick because we have to wait a bit for the game to start. So I'm Buffet Time and I'm here with Keegan.
Hi.
And so during this first little bit, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to turn to the right and this is going to queue up a little bit of better positioning for the start of the run. And we just have to wait for this little bit to start. So while we're waiting here, Keegan, do you want to explain the first trick of the run?
Sure. So what Buffet Time is going to do is what we call an extended jump. And what he's going to do is he's going to perfectly time a teleport, or with pausing the game menu, where he pauses during the teleport animation. So during that, when he's paused, he will walk forward in real life. And that is one of the main glitches of the run, and it lets you go directly through walls and doors, etc.
Okay. Now, I'm going to... So time is about to start, and I'll cue when it starts. It starts when we gain movement. Okay. And time starts. Oop. There we go. Okay, so now we're just going to do this. We're going to teleport down. And so that was the first extended jump. We're going to see it quite a lot throughout this run. And it basically allows us to, without going out of bounds, though you can use it to go out of bounds, extend where we're going, because with that correct timing, you get to get teleported much farther than you are normally supposed to. So we're just going to be running over here. The first chapter is pretty mild because we don't have the gravity gloves and we don't have a gun yet. So the skips are pretty limited. So right here, we're already in a cutscene, so we're just gonna be waiting here. Let's press this button a little bit. Let's see what he thinks about that.
Wait, don't shoot!
Why do you shoot my button? I like that button. So yeah, right here, there's really nothing to do. It's just a normal cutscene. So we're just waiting for this guy right here, Eli. Whew. We have time for like 1 or 2 donations.
Certainly. Thank you to Simeon for their $25 donation, who says, so happy to see Half-Life Alyx at AGDQ, one of my favorite games of all time, and definitely one of the scariest. And one more, we have thank you to Cryo Phantom for their $200 donation. They say, this year marks a decade of amazing GDQ events that I have followed and enjoyed. Thank you, Mike, for having the vision to start such an amazing thing that has been such a consistent source of enjoyment in my life, regardless of whatever else is happening at the time. Here's to the next decade.
All right, so right here, this is another cutscene. This is where we're going to be. So this is going to be the next extended jump, so we have to wait for this grenade to happen. This will trigger a teleport. So during this blackout, they're going to move us the character position in-game. And once that happens, cool. Now we just turn around a little bit, do this extended jump. We're outside of here. Wait a little bit. If you do that too fast, you can actually soft lock. But what we're going to do here is, a little too, there we go. Right through here. Come up, boop, boop, boop. We're going to teleport. There's going to be a lot of these precision teleporting to save time. Here we're waiting for a cutscene that doesn't play because we skipped the trigger for it, which makes it go by much faster actually, because it's not rendering anything. Ooh. Now we're going to come into here, and in a second, once we get this set up, we can do the whiteboard. So now we just run into here. We're going to grab this head crab because we like him. So this cutscene starts when you look at him right there, and we're setting this up right there. And now we're going to do the bid incentive, which was trans rights, because trans rights are human rights. And we're going to do it with this. So please excuse my in VR writing capabilities.
Potentially, maybe not though. I mean, they could just drill into this. Oh yeah, still your dad.
neater than what I could do.
Yeah, it's actually quite hard to do it clean in VR. Oh,
That's
also,
neater than my normal writing.
while we're here, I also do want to give a shout out to the GDQ staff as well as Valve themselves, because my headset broke about 2 weeks ago, and they managed to get Valve to send me a new index that I could use for this run for free, and then afterwards I'm going to be donating this index to GDQ so that they have this hardware for the future. So thank you so much to the GDQ staff and Valve the company. Also, this game is great. We can do one more donation right here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let me get a quick refresh. My buddy Gordon donates $100. They say the original Half-Life opened my eyes to what interactive narratives could be, and it is so awesome that its story lives on in such a unique platform as VR. I'm so excited to see Alyx run, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the last day of GDQ. Let's get a link to the past on the schedule so we can keep the good vibes going.
Okay, so here we just got the gravity gloves, and they let us get these items from far distances, and they're the greatest innovation in this game for VR. Highly, I will not dispute that. So here we're actually doing this fast enough that we're actually waiting for his animation cycle, which is behind his audio. So he's going to actually throw this. So we had to wait for that. So we got the gun before his animation finished, but we have to wait for the animation cycle to finish before we can come over here. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab this because we're now going to be waiting for a second. And during this, could you explain how duplication of ammo works, Keegan?
Thanks, Russell.
I think you, if I remember correctly, you pretty much are grabbing ammo and putting ammo in your backpack at about the same time, and the game freaks out. Oh, then just ends up duplicating ammo.
Yeah. Okay, let's get another donation in here.
Absolutely. From Garrett and Kathleen, we have a $100 donation. They say, this is for my Aunt Betsy, who tragically passed away from cancer this year. We love you so much. Always in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Garrett and Kathleen.
Did the train stop? It stopped, didn't it?
Yeah, what happened?
Okay, so here, this is going to be where the run really starts, in my opinion. Also, this duplication seems to not be working too correctly right now, but we're going to have many chances for that. So, also, before we go right here, I do want to mention, if you have a Twitch Prime sub, make sure to use it. Let's get those donations in. So, we're just going to come in here. Once you pull that gate, you can actually just go right through it. We're going to extend a jump through this door, because in this category and also the game in general, we like to just ignore all doors. They're not very helpful to us at the moment. I'm grabbing this to trigger that that barnacle so that I don't get caught by it.
The quarantine zone is behind this hatch.
I'm gonna do another quick one. Now here, this is a little bit of an optimization I like to do. So you have to start up both of these, but okay, it didn't work. Sometimes that doesn't work. So we need to open this up so that we can get something to finish completing that lock. And while I'm here, I'm going to open this up right there. So let's put this in. Sometimes that's a bit wonky, no problem. So now this is one of the annoying parts about this run. It's nice in the game, but when you're trying to do it fast, because these are randomly rotated, it can actually be pretty difficult. Here we could extend jump right through here, but it doesn't actually save any time because we have to wait for this. In the previous GDQ run, you would have seen me on the floor going underneath that, but that's of course out of bounds. Let's get another donation in real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to say we're at 173K for Zelda. We're aiming for 400,000. From, Azarael, they donate $25. They say more runs, more donations. Let's keep this thing running as long as we can.
Yeah, so that's yet another case of using extended jump. We go by slowly here because I shouldn't have done that. That's why I usually go slow there, because that means I don't get hit by the barnacle, but, you know, marathon luck is how it is. Let me open this up. We're just going to shoot this guy a couple times. You can get away without doing it, but I find it to be quite a bit more consistent. Same thing here, go right through the gate. Oop, there we go. Whew.
To briefly go over going through that door earlier when he just grabbed it. So because for whatever reason, probably to prevent janky physics interactions, when you grab a prop, you aren't able to collide with it. So when Buffet grabbed that door handle, the whole door is a physics object, so he was just able to walk through it.
Oh yeah, and could you explain fast tele?
So fast teleport is when you go and bind like a trackpad or a trigger to be a button, but you have the activation in threshold set at like 10% and the deactivation threshold set to 100%. So it pretty much just ends up spamming teleport quickly, and it's pretty much how you can move fast in this game.
Also, this is the best character in the game, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's true.
That's terrible, and I hope...
That's all. So this is just another cut to me at the way through. You can extended jump through there, but it's out of bounds until this cutscene is over. So if we can get one more quick donation in.
Sure. From Knight, they donate $25 and they say, Buffet, when is Hotline?
That's a good question, Knight. We'll discuss that in my Discord later.
It is important.
I know, I'm sure it is.
So coming up here, there's going to be... So extended jumps, of course, often we're just going through a door, so we don't have to actually go too far. But in this case, because of the way that we can teleport to it, it actually takes quite a lot of distance, so I'm going to be doing quite a far extended jump. Also, I do want to note that, technically speaking, the fastest way to play this game would be to have, like, a warehouse and, like, perfect tracking throughout it, because you could really break quite a lot of this game if you have infinite space. Though that probably wouldn't work too well. I'm not sure how well Steam VR would work with that.
I mean, Valve does advertise, like, what, 20 foot by 20 foot play space with the base station 2.0.
Yeah.
So, like, it's been somewhat of a joke about just us renting a warehouse just to see what we actually could do.
So here, we're going to be trying to get through here as fast as possible to prevent a few triggers from happening. That will make it easier on the way back. Also, as you notice, I'm not 100% on these extended jumps. They are actually quite time sensitive. I don't know the exact frame timing on it or anything like that, or ticks, because this is a Source Engine 2 game. It is not Source Engine. This is the sequel to Source Engine, of course, but it has a lot of similarities to Source, and it is a tick-based engine and not frame-based, which is a lot more common nowadays than when Source originally came out. So we're going to do the same thing here. Teleporting when you're near barnacles is quite dangerous because it's very easy for you to teleport into the hitbox. Go right through here. So we're just flying through right now. Can we get one more donation real quick?
Yeah, I just want to say in the last 3 minutes, we've had $5,000 towards A Link to the Past, getting really close to that 180,000, and we just passed $1.8 million. So,
good job, everyone.
Yeah, great job. From Wolfadex, $150. They say, loved playing Half-Life Alyx. Best of luck to Buffet Time. Thank you, GDQ crew, for yet another amazing AGDQ.
Awesome. So, as you saw there's me, and as you saw earlier in the run, there is quite a few points where it's, especially in this category, faster if you can get a barnacle to be pre-triggered, so you can just fly right through there. So sometimes it'll look like I'm going slower, but usually that is being done not because I'm messing up, but usually that's being done because I'm trying to not get caught and lose time. Like right here, that's why I walk through there and not teleport, because it's possible to teleport through here, but very difficult. And so one nice thing about that extended jump is the second you're past this gate, this entire area is the trigger for the next load zone. So the second I finish that extended jump, we're already into the load zone, which is very nice. It is also important to note that we do not put too much emphasis onto RTA time and when we're doing actual runs. That's because load time removing is pretty important for a game this complex, and because we have great auto-split developers at our disposal. So here I'm going to be doing a small little bit of time loss just for marathon safety. I just want to get my health all the way back up.
Junction, we're here.
Also, free mag.
This was it. Get down.
It doesn't waste too much time either. And here, I'm going to crouch down because it makes my actual spot for them to hit me much more difficult. And we're skipping over that guy, coming over here. You don't technically need to kill them, but they can shoot at you the entire time you're out here. And in certain cases, I have died to that, so for safety, I am not doing that. These puzzles right here are randomly generated, so they can be quite a pain, but luckily we got this one pretty fast. We're gonna grab this real quick, throw this in here, because that's gonna trigger an animation phase that we have to wait for. And while we're doing that, let's kill this guy right over here, grab this. And so, as you saw earlier, we did one with 2, this one has 4, and as you can tell, all of them have random rotations. And you can do 2 at a time, but it's just hard for your brain to manage that, so I like to do it a little bit less than 2 at a time, but I'm usually looking at the next one when I'm doing it.
Is it supposed to come off?
Sometimes extended jump timing, you get it perfectly, other times you don't.
It won't stay.
And so here, this is actually a really nice looking cutscene, so I'm just going to let it show for itself, and can we get a donation in real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to say, while you're donating, make sure to hit that add incentive button. I see a lot of chat about donation trains and stuff going on. From Crucio, we have $25. They say, hold up, ALTTP 100% can be done that fast? I gotta see this. Donation towards the bonus game incentive, please.
All right, so during that crash of everything, we're actually teleported to a new area, and so right when that happens, we can see a trigger, and we can just get ready for that. And so through that smoke, you may not have been able to see it, I pulled out this tool right here to trigger opening the door. Now, there is a way to go through this faster, and it involves teleporting onto the top of the head of Eli. Also, you can see him right there. But that is, I have never gone it down consistently enough that I feel comfortable enough to do it in a marathon setting. This is unfortunately yet another cutscene, but we're going to be done with them soon, so let's get some donations in.
Certainly. From Savrils, we have a $15 donation, and they say, I had to do another donation. A VR game at AGDQ? How amazing is that? Cheers to the VR community, and cheers to great VR games, and what a great game Alyx is. Good luck to you, Buffet Time. And from Puzzling Trash, they donate $100, and they say, oh no, I'm in a future where we didn't meet our incentive. That just means I have to find Link in the past, of course.
Let's get one more in.
Sure, we cleared $180,000 towards that $400,000 goal. Chad, I want to see y'all typing every 5K. I want you to hype us up in the chat. We have a real short one here from Brochuck, $250. Dear GDQ, I love you. Love, Jeff.
Awesome. So let's see. I didn't get too many of those duplications correctly, but so here we just have to wait for an audio cue right there when he says go, which is actually quite nice when you're told in game to go, and that's also when you're actually able to move. Usually you're supposed to wait for the bridge animation to like come up, but the actual trigger for the floor is already there. So this next chapter, Keegan, do you want to explain how slow it is?
It's messy back there, but
It's very, very slow.
what?
One of the slowest chapters in the entire game.
Not probably, actually. It's definitely.
So the gimmick of this chapter, though you don't notice when you first come through here, is that you see they show you like unlockables and stuff, and you're like, how do I get there? And you eventually get back to it once you go around the entire map. But if you just extended jump, or there's actually quite a number of methods to get through, you can just go and go instantly. So we are done with chapter 4 in no time. So this, I'm going to hold on to that. That's going to be useful for a later chapter. We're going to be mantling, which actually, could you explain what mantling is?
It's pretty much just climbing up of things. So like Valve of has mostly preferred a stance of like not moving the player in too weird of ways or making them like climb around like in Boneworks. So it pretty much just moves your hitbox up over geometry, and there's no proper jumping to try to avoid giving people motion sickness.
Yeah. And so as you saw there, I use that mantle so I can get up to a platform that you're supposed to fix an elevator to get to, so that saves quite a bit of time. Now, could you explain the troubles of this map specifically?
Yeah, so this map is all very precise teleporting. Like, if you teleport in just the wrong spot, you will either hit a kill trigger, or you could just completely fall off or just teleport in the wrong spot. It is difficult, and you have to be very precise.
Okay, we got the bug. So this was mildly expected. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to main menu. So there's an issue there where we haven't figured out why, but sometimes you lose the ability to teleport onto that second area. And so we've sort of agreed upon having backup saves or just restarting that chapter if that happens. And so I have this backup because of what just happened. And that's where I'm supposed to be able to continue teleporting on that unrendered wall because the, well, actually it's just that the collision hitbox goes like quite a bit higher than it looks like it should. But yeah, so we're just gonna come right back through here. Boop, that's fine. It's actually quite nice that if you make a wrong teleport, it brings you down. There we go. And so we're gonna do this. And then, so this is not considered out of bounds because all these teleports are valid places to be. Let's not die. There we go. It's very easy to die on that last one, but because they are valid teleports and you're never exposed to what we refer to as the void, which is basically the out of bounds areas in Half-Life Alyx, and you're not clipped into a large enough prop in which you can see the void, that is not out of bounds. But it is actually in the out of bounds category, you do that skip a little bit faster and differently because you can go out of bounds in that category.
Yeah.
So here, we're just gonna be running through really quickly. Ooh, there we go. This grenade is the bane of my existence a bit because if you try and gravity glove it, it just refuses to do anything. So here I grabbed, oh, okay. Come on, physics. That can happen sometimes. So we're just gonna be running through here. Sort of simple one here. What's interesting about this is that there's so many barnacles in this area, and I'm trying to avoid them at all costs because they will just waste time. So I'm moving around in different angles to avoid them throughout this entire time. This force field, you're supposed to take it down, but of course, it is just a very easy to get through extended jump. And same thing with over here. Now, Keegan, could you explain zipping in this game?
So when zero zipping is pretty much where if you teleport or fast enough, so like if you're in just normal teleporting mode, if you jiggle the movement stick enough, and you teleport too many times, the game will start moving you to 0, in the map.
We got the bug.
Alyx!
That's actually really unfortunate. Let's see if we can fix that. I'll try this again, but that's a bug related to the glitch we were doing, which I haven't gotten so long, always marathon luck, in which you're supposed to usually do... Ooh, where are we? Okay. I actually need to switch back to continuous really quickly. So once we get back here, we're going to quickly... That's really funny. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so usually the zip is supposed to happen where it takes you to 0, 0, 0, XYZ in the map. Because of reasons, but usually that's supposed to happen like at a consistent rate where it just brings you through all props. So I'm going to save right here, and let's see if we can get it without that happening. There we go. That's exactly what we wanted. And so during that zip, that is quite often used throughout the entirety of Out of Bounds, but it is only in this case where we found where it's actually useful, where it doesn't bring you fully out of bounds. So usually you can, if you're going the fastest method here, you don't have to kill these guys, but I'm doing this for marathon safety right here. So we're just gonna come up here, and now could you explain the accessibility settings that I'm abusing right now?
Now that's the spirit.
So, because this is a VR game, and obviously your head is your actual head, and everyone is a different height, right? Valve has included a press to stand up and a press to crouch button. So what you could do is you could crouch in real life and press the button to stand up, and it will make you even taller. So you could access things you normally wouldn't be able to get. And it's a lot more in Out of Bounds, as it is one of the main ways to get out of bounds.
Yeah, and could you explain that prop drop I just did?
So basically what he's doing is, obviously that is too far down to actually safely walk down, as there's a kill trigger. So what he does to cheat the system is he drops a prop, and then he goes and teleports on it, and that pretty much moves it closer so he could skip the kill trigger and safely get down on the ground.
Yeah, that trick is really finicky, and I have died many times from it. Ooh, did we get that? No, okay. This is a really difficult extended jump because you can overshoot it or you can undershoot it very easily. Oop. There we go. Now, I'm also going to, again, if you're doing this the most optimal way, you do not need to kill him, but I'm trying to preserve my health in case there's problems later on in the run. We just skipped an massively long section of combat. It's a really, really good section. The second most intense combat section in this game, with multiple waves. And the combat in this is great because it's VR and everything that Valve has done. But we can also just go right past it and save a couple minutes. And now, could you explain this very interesting chapter?
Oh, good, Alyx.
So now we are in the chapter called Jeff, and so Jeff is this mutant alien where he's completely blind, but he will hear almost any type of movement where you make any noise, so like breaking bottles and such. So he will move to those, and if you get way too close, he will actually kill you. So there are a lot of poison gas things that will make Alyx cough, so you would have to cover your mouth to get past those without making any noise.
I think this auto saves right here, but I accidentally hit a death trigger, which can happen sometimes. There's quite a few death triggers that you wouldn't think are death triggers, but I won't claim to know anything about VR game development. And also, we are sort of going way faster than the average person, so not too surprising. We also are skipping a lot of triggers, so that's probably the reason. So here we're going to do yet another prop drop. And so, I'm going to get ready.
So if you look down there, you can see Jeff.
Yeah. And so now that we're down here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try and get Jeff. Oop, hello? This is stuck in my hand. Valve, please. Thank you. Thank you, Source Engine. Oh, wait. Okay. Because that glitch we got, I unfortunately do not have that time-saving thing I did back in Chapter 5. Which is fine because we can still get all three of them. It just saves about 10 seconds overall. And so here we're trapping Jeff in here, and now we need to go trigger this elevator. And so as it comes down, it's going to block out, and the elevator is going to take out the lights. So then this becomes pure horror, where you're in this small confined space, and any noise you make, he's going to come and try and get you. Also, there's these cute little guys right here, these little Zen flora that want to bite us. They like to follow my hand. So we're waiting for this. Now we're going to come out here, and the goal is to re-establish the electrical signal. And so right before he comes out, so now I need to let Jeff out so that he's not in my way. And so I'm going to grab this. Also, there's vodka around, and there's jokes about that, but you can take those vodka bottles and break them to make quite a bit of noise. And then over here, we're going to complete that circuit. And now we need to extend and jump back in. And now, because we're just trying to get up this elevator right here. And so we're just gonna be waiting. Could I get another donation real quick?
Yeah, I just want to chime in real quick. We're just over $15,000 away from halfway, $200,000 for a link to the past. Please make sure you're applying those incentives. I'm seeing people talking about a donation train at 35 minutes. And one of the coolest things about GDQ is watching the tracker skyrocket when the train hits. So please, please, please get those donations in.
Also, please ignore that I forgot to do a step. Also, let's get another donation in. But yeah, that was me just being dumb.
No worries. He Who Am R is myself donates $100. Thank you. They say, I've watched it back, and donation readers are 4 out of 5 for getting my name right, which is honestly incredibly impressive. Donation goes to Reader's Choice. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely am putting that towards a link to the past. Thank you so much.
Also, I do want to mention that my runner's choice is also towards link to the past.
And we just hit 185K, so I better see those 185s in the chat.
And so coming up through here, once Jeff teleported in there, because we skipped the trigger of him actually walking in normally, that's when we get teleported upwards and we can then extended jump out.
More or less.
So here, if we open the door normally, then Jeff has the ability to move, but for right now, you see he's just right there. So while he's incapacitated, we're just going to quickly grab all of these. And as I said before, that one we had grabbed earlier, if we didn't have that bug, would have saved us a little bit of time. But we can also just come in here and grab all the ones we need. And so this is the one we tend to skip because it's a bit further out of the way. And so we're grabbing all 3 of these because we need to power up the stations that we saw right before I got into here. So we're going to clip back out because we need to re-enable Jeff's ability to move, because otherwise we're going to get a soft lock. So just come back here, shoot this. This is not strictly necessary, but I like to do that just to make sure it's working. Yeah, we're good. And now we're going to come back through here. We have all 3 of these. I didn't soft lock this time, Keegan.
Yay.
And we're just going to come over here and start this. And now Jeff is going to hear us, and if you get the soft lock, he'll just never appear here, and then you have to restart. Because there's a lot of triggers that we're skipping, but luckily Valve had a few different areas where you can get everything back to working, though it is actually quite a bit of time to get this level down. So we're going to wait for him to break this fully, and when that happens, we're trying to trap him in here. And we're going to...
Jeff has been one of the more soft lock prone chapters in the entire game. But in Out of Bounds, the latest version of Jeff Skip, there have been so many Jeff Skips over the years, you pretty much just can completely skip any chance of soft locking.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, Jeff is definitely the chapter that has changed the most over time. And in Out of Bounds, and in my last time, if you watched my previous run back in SGDQ 2020, you never saw this, because we skipped the trigger for it to render. But now you can actually see it. Pretty. And so now we're going to go through here. This area is easy to hit a death trigger, but it's also very easy to get through once you've done it a few times. And so now we're on to Chapter 8.
I think the tunnel is full of ammo.
Could we get another quick donation in?
Yeah, so we got an $800 donation from Hornswoggle12 with no comment. Thank you so much. I think that's like the most baller thing you can do. Drop a huge donation and just leave no comment whatsoever. But thanks for that.
Sure. So here, same thing. This is actually where we... so that door you're supposed to actually have a lock for it, but if you just touch it, it opens. That's actually different than that one we were showing earlier where you can just like walk through them. That one just is supposed to be locked, but never locks for you.
Down. He's working on it.
And so here I'm just going to quickly do this. That saves about 2 seconds over the previous thing I did. So we're just sprinting through here right now. There we go. Sometimes that could be a little bit hard to remember exactly where to go because you're flying through here so fast. Right through here. We're going to ignore these lines. We're going to come over here. Boop. And so we want to, it didn't happen quite fast enough, but the second you actually do damage to that antlion, that's when you're able to teleport into that area. So if you can do that quicker, you save a little bit of time. And,
Trying to figure out whether we ought to be.
okay, Keegan, can you explain why I was just pulled back to where I was? Or do you not know?
That I think it's like somewhat of an invalid position, and the game just tries to put you back.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's
too
what
sure.
my guess is too. I think it happens mostly when you're doing a lot of fast teleports while you're also holding on to movement and continuous. Could we get a quick donation real quick?
Yep, absolutely. 30 seconds till that 35-minute mark for the $5 donation train. Wiggy donates $50 and says, link to the past. Hype!
Okay, so as you just saw, there was previously enemies there, but once you get into like roughly the center of that room we just saw, they just get removed from the game to help with performance, because this next section also has quite a few large enemies. So we just run right past them and just unrender them so that we can come over here. And so this is actually this was one of the earlier skips we found in the game, probably like within the first week of the game coming out. But it is a lot of precision teleports, and we're skipping a trigger for antlions to spawn.
Head towards those beams, right?
And what we're going to do here is just come over here. Boop, boop, boop. And now we're going to try and trigger this. It is faster if you can store a grenade, but it tends to be not much faster unless you get a good area where a grenade is, and so it's not really worth it too much. Now here we're going to try and not get hit by the barnacle, and then we're just going to do a few more quick tellies. And then we're going to be on to Chapter 10. Game is flying by.
So a few of the like glitches in the game, like zero zipping and that whole like being teleported back, those were things that just people end up finding by accident during their casual playthrough, because as you can imagine, a lot of people playing the first Half-Life game in a very long time, you get a lot of people playing the game, and then sometimes things just get found by accident that ends up missing QA.
So as you saw there, that is the longest extended jump in the run. And that's just because of how thick that piece of wood was. And we're going to fly by through here, trying to ignore this barnacle. And
Alyx, we're getting close to the
I do want to say that we can get one more quick donation in right now.
Sure. That was like $5,000 raised in 1 minute, by the way, with that donation train. Basilbub Bulbasaur, $500, and they say no comment whatsoever.
So right here, I'm going to stay crouched, and we're just going to ignore all these enemies. And this saves quite a bit of time, but it also does introduce a bit of complexity that we'll see in a second. So I'm just going to be running through here real quickly. We're just trying to scale this. We're going to ignore these man hacks that are coming to kill us. So we're just going to keep going through here. Yep, this happens sometimes, not all the times. I don't know the exact reason, but sometimes that NPC just gets stuck standing still. And so now we're going to come over here. We're going to teleport onto the top of that pipe, or bit of rebar. And we're going to come over here and start this. And right before, we're going to have a good time for donations, but as you notice, they're still shooting at me because I didn't kill them. This is not normal. So I'm just going to try and not die here. And let's get some donations in while we wait.
Absolutely. I just want to remind anyone who's participating in the chat, we're counting down every 5,000. So we just passed over 192. Again, we're trying to hit 400,000 to see a Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past 100%. The game after this, from Amelia, we have a $200 donation, and they say trans lives matter. Thank you, Amelia.
Trans rights are human rights.
Absolutely. And
Let's
then
keep going.
from French Toast, we have a $50 donation. They say, let's get a link to the past incentive met so the marathon can keep going. Trans rights. And then from The Heretic, donating for my favorite VR game, also, trans rights are human rights. And can I keep going?
Yep, keep going.
Awesome.
Still got a few, and I didn't
Sure.
hit that trigger.
From TMS LFT, we have a $2,500 donation. They say, I can barely keep my bearings in VR, let alone at this pace. Here's to an amazing run, to another fantastic GDQ, and to meeting that Link to the Past incentive. Let's go. Thanks so much for that huge donation.
Thank you. Okay, so here, no matter what you do, once you spawn into this next level that we're in right now, you go down to basically 1 heart, I think is the exact, or like just under. That's because of the explosion. So it doesn't matter what we did up to this point. But, so we're just going to come over here, and you're going to see a Strider right there. We're going to ignore it. I'm going to quickly pocket this grenade, and we're just going to need to do a few things to get this elevator that you may have seen for a second up and going. So we're going to come through here, need to hook up these 2 areas. Boop, boop, boop. And now we can open up this. Now, just going to come around here. This will be really quick, and then we're going to see what the real thing is about the end of this game. So we're just going to press this button. And there's that Strider right there. And unfortunately, us doing that wakes it up. And so, I'm going to now need to crouch behind here so that I don't take any damage. Or at least reduce the amount of damage I'm taking, because I currently have just about nothing. We're going to press this, come into this corner. Thank you, Val, for putting this here, giving us 1 bar of health. And we're going to go up this elevator. And this is the last, like, hurrah of the run in terms of action. This is an incredibly fun section of the game that is very action-packed. And you're trying not to get shot at by a Strider that's like 10 times bigger than you. If you remember them from Half-Life 2 or the previous game, or any of the Half-Life 2 games, they are quite big, but you don't really get that scale unless you're in VR, and they are absolutely terrifyingly large. So here I'm going to take out this grenade. I'm going to run through here real quick. I'm going to start this grenade up. I dropped that so he doesn't do as much damage to me. I'm going to hold here in the corner because they're still right there. And I just need to come to this area for that to be triggered. Now we're going to run through here. Going to run past, do lots of teleports. And we're just trying to get to the section where we can start killing the Strider. And so this is quite a difficult weapon to use. It is very finicky. I've gone it down pretty well over the years, but it is still something that when you get it perfectly, you can save quite a bit of time. I think it's about 7 hits, and there he goes. And so here, this is inbounds. I know it may not look like it, but there we go. A couple quick precision teleports.
Yeah, we did.
Come on. There. No. All right, I hit a death trigger. It is quite easy to hit death triggers here when teleporting, so I'm not too worried about that. Can I get a couple donations in real quick while I redo this?
Oh yeah, I'm going to speed run these. Sam the Man, $5 says, can I get a ticket to the $5 buffet? We have from Anonymous, $5 train, choo-choo! We have from Gordon, $5 who says, on a rail for the donation train. We have a $500 donation from Inquiry who says, come on, ride the train. We have another $500 donation from Spicy who says, choo-choo.
All right, really quick. So I cannot move during this cutscene where I'm being pulled up. Normally this happens after quite a lot of other things have been loaded into the game. But
Then you'll come out.
I think there were some death triggers that are put up here, most likely just sort of because, and I think they would get removed at a certain point, but because of the way that we just finished this, if I move, there's a chance that I hit a death trigger right at the end of that cycle, and that would lose like 20 seconds. But we got through it well. And
I believe it can also somewhat break the next few maps as well.
yeah. And so this is on to the last chapter. And this is wild.
We just blew past 200K. We're about to hit 205.
Good job, everyone. Let's keep that going. So here, the fastest way to do this actually, while still being inbounds technically, would be to do what is known as a prop fly. Because this is a zero gravity area, you can actually have it move up and have it put at the right angle so that you just keep teleporting on top of it. It's insanely difficult. I've only gotten it done really perfectly like maybe twice. It is way too risky for this run, but I think I have a YouTube video of it somewhere. But that strat is really fun, but also really difficult to do, and it doesn't save too much time anymore, though I think it still saves, if you do it really well, about like 20 seconds. And so here we're into this everything is getting a little wonky if you've been noticing. Like, there's this dead body of a zombie. What is he doing? Also, the audio is getting a little odd, I've noticed. So we're in what's known as the vault currently, or we're getting to that area, and this is the end of the game. But there's a lot of weird things happening. We're seeing those ghosts, and we're seeing double. This is incredible in VR, by the way. If you have VR in any capacity, this game is a must play. It is absolutely fantastic. There we go. This section is just wild to see in VR, and so is this. A complete mirror. And so over here, I'm just gonna throw some items over here, and now, they're starting to float. That's odd. So this is actually quite a bit of a long little sequence, so let's get some donations in.
Certainly. Thank you to Razbaz for their $55.55 donation. They say, am I doing this right? Thank you. From Kat, we have a $100 donation who says, I never beat A Link to the Past as a kid because I couldn't get through the Ice Palace. So I'd love to see this game get destroyed. We can do it, cute chat. Yeah, got any smilers in the chat? We have $194,000 remaining for the game after this to be added to the schedule. Sorry, not the game after this. The game after Dark Souls 2, after this one. I'm confused. From Ebert, we have $125. They say, let's get A Link to the Past chat. Trans rights.
We still have time for one more.
Absolutely. From Clausy, a $200 donation. Thanks so much. They say, what an amazing week. Huge thanks to the staff and organizers behind the scenes making AGDQ possible year after year. Let's stop cancer and hopefully get A Link to the Past too.
Okay, so here we're going to be... This extended jump itself disables all of this AI's ability to attack us. And we're able to, because of that, just get through these sections and prevent the spawning of the AI in this area. Also, we never get the super gravity gloves that you get normally. But now we have just finished the second to last map in the game. And so this next map is going to go by really quickly, and we're going to need to be ready on time. But we have time during this load scene for a couple quick donations.
Sure. From Meow, we're talking. They donate $25 and say, donating for Link to the Past. We're watching GDQ with our 2-week-old daughter, and AGDQ has been a lifesaver in these sleepless first few days of her life. Link to the Past is one of my favorite games from childhood, and I'm so excited to see what games my daughter will fall in love with. Thanks for an amazing event.
So get ready on time, and so I'm going to be grabbing these, and time. So while we're here, the game did just end, but I do want to show something kind of funny. This is the ending to Half-Life 2, by the way. Just wanted to mention that.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, yeah. Half-Life 2, Episode 2. So thank you, everyone, for watching this run. Let's keep those donations going. Let's get Twitch Prime subs going. So I do want to quickly shout out To my fiance and my daughter, I love you both. To the entire Half-Life community, Half-Life Alyx, as well as the previous games, the Source Runs community, which, if you're interested in any Source Run game, any Valve game, make sure to check them out. There's so much you can do in Portal, Portal 2, Half-Life, etc. The Half-Life Alyx community is quite small at the moment, and if you do have VR for any possibility, we are very welcoming and we would love to have new runners. And VR games in general, just take a look at them. They're pretty interesting. And other than that, I want to say thank you to Keegan for doing co-commentary for me.
You're welcome.
And other than that, that's the end.
Wow, such an incredible run. Give it up in chat, everyone. Just fantastic. What a day we're having. Getting really close to that $210,000 mark. More than halfway there now for A Link to the Past. But first, we're going to take a quick break and listen to these words from our sponsors.
Hey everyone, I'm ET6, here to show you some quick speedrun tricks in Doom Eternal. First up, we have the Urdak Island skip. As a beginner, you take this trick fairly slowly, preserving your speed through the rings and doing 3 ballista boost dead swaps. But with practice, you can get an extra boost in with punch swaps and go much faster. Next, we have the Tower's Sushi skip. Beginners should take it slow and line up their boosts to ensure that they don't miss. But experts will be able to maintain momentum the entire time, ramp jumping on the ledge to keep their speed going. Finally, we have the legendary Ecorn Punch Boost. Beginners can do a more careful strat to get into this window, avoiding the punch boost altogether. With some practice, you can punch boost all the way up to this window. And then, when you practice long enough, you can do this. Check out Modern Doom speedrunning, join our Discord, and be sure to check out the latest bundle from Humble Bundle, including Doom Eternal, benefiting the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yo, we're going to talk about Fangamer. Don't you love Fangamer? Fangamer is a video game merchandise company. They got so many cool things on there like GDQ Marathon luck joggers, and there's so many cool mugs and keychains. They ship worldwide, and of course, sales of GDQ merch benefit the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Check them out, fangamer.com/GDQ.